Good morning. It's Friday, June 27th, 2025, and it's payday. Now, I did have a few from Wednesday that did not come out on time, which was one of them was Defiance. So I have Defiance now, and they came out a little bit later. Defiance has more weeklies now than just the indexes. So let's go over that first. Thank you for everybody who wished me happy birthday. Appreciate that very much. What did I do? Really quick. I went to Queens in Brooklyn, which is far from me because I live out in Long Island. So we went to the casino because we got our own casinos here. We don't got to go all the way to Atlantic City to have fun. So I went to Resorts Casino. With some friends. And then we ate at the Sugar Factory in there and had a really good time, had some drinks and stuff. And that was the birthday. In the morning, I was hanging out with family, so we did breakfast in a local diner, which was also fun. So that was a really good birthday. So anyway, that's that. Now, back to Defiance, which came out late. So again, this was advised on the Wednesday, and you'll be getting paid today. So even if you didn't get it from me, it's still going to hit your account today if you own it already. So you'll get paid regardless. So first up is ticker QQQY that covers the S&P 500, and they paid a 38.58% distribution rate, and they're paying 0.1919 per share. And as I recall, this is better than what Yieldmax did. Yieldmax had dropped the ball on these indexes last week. I mean, Wednesday. So, yeah, Defiance did way better than them because they paid like 11 cents. And these guys are paying 19 cents. So, good job, Defiance, even though you came out late. So, next ticket is WDTE. Oh, they wrote this wrong. And I said it wrong. QQQY is the NASDAQ. So they came out late and they wrote their own stuff wrong. Are you kidding me right now, Defiance? Really? Okay. QQQY covers the NASDAQ. And WDTE covers the S&P 500. I can't believe they got a typo on their announcement that's going out in the mail. This is unbelievable. But I don't know if anybody called them on it. I might have to write them something in their contact me because this is really embarrassing to have typos on your notifications that's going out to people in the mail. Does that make sense? Who's looking at this? Do you not have anybody like overlooking this stuff before it goes out? I could be just doing extra because I used to be a manager. But if I everybody somebody sent me this, like this is going out to millions of people who own this stuff, and to send out QQQI with S&P 500 next to it is something to me, really something. But anyway, next up, WDTE. This covers the S&P 500. It's 30.90% distribution rate, and it pays 0.2020 per share. I'm going to have to check these numbers in my account because with this mistake, I hope these numbers are correct. That came out late on Wednesday here with a bad typo. All right, I'm not going to say it anymore. People made a mistake. I'm surprised they didn't send a correction one either. Did nobody realize that? Since Wednesday, I don't see a correction notice. Let me just check. No, what? Let me just finish this first. IWMY covers the Russell 2000. 51.40% distribution rate is paying 0.2398 per share. Okay. Next up, we got the ticker USOY. That's the Oil Enhanced ETF. Ooh, 110.97% distribution rate. And that's 19 cents. So 0.19999 per share. 110. Wow. Never seen that number from Defiance. I don't know the price of this thing though. USOY. Gotta look that up later. And then the gold one, Gold Enhanced ETF from Defiance is ticker GLDY, and that's a 39 0.46% distribution rate, and that's paying 0.1385 per share. This is 110.97% distribution rate. Hmm. USOY. While I'm here, I'm going to give you the number for SVOL. They paid 30 cents again. So I guess they went up because they paid 30 cents last time. They used to pay 27 cents, steady. And now it's 30 cents. So maybe they upgraded it, which I don't mind. So yeah, SVOL is 30 cents while I'm here. But I really came here to check out the price of this 110 Defiance Oil $9 stock. All right, maybe that's why it's 110 to get 19 cents. Hmm. Anyways, it's a $9 stock paying 110.97% distribution rate. Interesting. All right. And let's put the name here, QQQY, just so we all know that the name was supposed to say NASDAQ on there and not S&P 500. It's not me making stuff up trying to make Defiance look bad. They really put a typo on their email here, so it's a literal typo. It's a typo. What can I do? They put S&P 500 on here. All right. Did they send a correction? Is the question. Let's put that out there. Did I see any other Defiance emails? No, this is the only one that came out on the 25th. That's it. The one that has QQQY saying S&P 500. I don't have any other correction emails here, so they probably really didn't even realize they put the wrong name on here. That's bad overseeing right there. Next up, that's Defiance, which I owed y'all. I gave you SVOL. Oh yeah. Um YETH is going from monthly to weekly. So I was waiting for this last June payment, and apparently they're not giving us a June payment. They're just skipping it because the first payment for the weekly is going to be on the 3rd, and the last payment they have down here in history is the May one. So they didn't put anything, even a date out here for June. So I guess they're skipping the whole of June and then starting the weeklies for July. The next declaration date is going to be on the 1st and pay you on the 3rd. So yeah, nothing's being paid for June for YETH, which when you do something like that, skip a whole month. This payment, this monthly payments better be really good because where's the whole amount of money you made for June? Where is it? Roundhill. Where is everything you made for YETH in June? Where's that going? You better be putting it in these weekly payments, or else we're missing a month. Just putting that out there too. So no payment for June for YETH. Cran shares, we know that's always late. It's 627. It's the record date right now, and they still don't have this updated. So most likely it'll probably be updated next week. You probably know when you get paid. That's how late these things come out, which is crazy. So yeah, don't have clip yet. But let's get to what's going on. What else we got? Again, I don't hold it, but I do get the email, so I'll tell you about it. Maggie. This is the one that pays on Mondays. It's going for like $57 right now, something like that per share. Had a really good payment this week. This is probably the highest payment I saw. It's not in the 20s. It's in the 30s this time. So ticker Maggie, MAGY, which is their Magnificent 7 from Roundhill. It's paying 0.376300 per share. Nicely done. This is the only one that pays on Monday that I know about. So if you wanted to get paid every week and space it out, Roundhill offers you this one for a payment on Monday. That's that. Next up, we got Yield Boost. Yield Boost is in the house. Yield Boost. Yield. Yield Boost. Granite shares. Weekly distributions. Oh, wait, I have that already. Okay, here we go. So, this is the one that's experiencing a lot of nav erosion. So, I'm just telling you guys that already. TSYY, Granite Shares, Yield Boost. The underlying security is Tesla in this one. So, you get paid on 7/1. X date is today. So, they declared last night. So, you probably had to buy it yesterday on the 26th to get paid on 7/1. This is not one you can buy today. Yeah, this came out last night. So yeah, you had to buy this yesterday to get paid on 7/1. So TSYY underlying security is Tesla. It's paying 0.29982 per share. And then next up is TQQY, which is NASDAQ coverage. It's paying 0.18079 per share. Then we got YSPY, which is the S&P 500 coverage. It's paying 0.19173 per share. And then we got the XBTY, which is Bitcoin coverage. It's paying 0.50366 per share. 50 cents. Nice for Bitcoin, yeah. And last up, we have NVYY, which is NVIDIA coverage. It's paying 0.58972 per share. So that's the Granite Shares Yield Boost numbers. These pay on Tuesdays. 7/1 is a Tuesday. They announced it late last night, so you really had to buy this yesterday to get paid on Tuesday. What do we got next? Bitwise. That's the one that came out with a storm. I missed the first round, which was really, really high. And I came in for the second month here. This is going to be my first distribution. Um, these guys also announced yesterday. So you had to really buy it yesterday to get paid on, again, getting paid on Tuesday here. But this is monthlies. These are not weeklies. So Bitwise, can you guys see this? Hopefully. Okay, here it goes. It's a little bigger. The first one is IMST, which is MicroStrategy coverage, and it's paying $1.87, and the distribution rate is 42.77%. And the X date and record date is today, the 27th, and you get paid on Tuesday, 7/1, 2025. So that is a decent payment. It's nowhere where it was on the first payment. Again, I think it did that well because a lot of people did not know about this security from Bitwise. And as I say, they did really well and they didn't have that many people to distribute it to. So, of course, the payment was very, very high. But not a lot more people found out about it after they did such a really high first payment. A lot more people bought into it, and now they got to split it against a whole bunch of people. So now it's still pretty good. Because waiting for a month, this payment is higher than what you got from Yieldmax on Misty. So that is true. But then for the cost of it, this is like a $50 stock, and Misty is only 20 something dollars. If you look at that cost comparison, the price comparison, then getting 187 on a $50 stock versus getting 140 something on a 20 something dollar stock. Wait, I got a lot of Misty, so I'm gonna be a Misty fan. But this did do pretty well for a 50 something dollar stock, paying 187. Last month it paid I think $7. So like I said, if you got in it in the beginning, you'll be reaping that. It did really well last month. So this one also did really well last month. This is ICOI. The underlying security is Coinbase. It did really well last month too. And this month it also did well. Coinbase is doing really well. So $5.61, and that's a 111.55% distribution rate here, which is nice. Yeah, Coinbase did really well. Nice, yeah. So next up is IMRA. Underlying security is Marathon, and that paid $1.89 this month. Again, this was a fabulous payment last month. Also, I don't know the order, but last month for these three, we got a $7 payment, a $9.33 payment, and a $6 and change payment. So all of these were really high last month. I don't know the order of those payments, but and this month you still got, really decent. Again, Coinbase did really well again. So two times really well here. But these are my first payments from them. I didn't get in last month. But yeah, these are decent. So that is Bitwise, MicroStrategy, Coinbase, and Marathon coverage. And these are monthlies. Next up, we got what we came for, which is the Roundhill and the debut of the new five that's available from Roundhill. So that should be good. Roundhill, 7 o'clock this morning. We got a lot. So these you can still buy today and get paid on Tuesday because the X date is 6:30. It's not going to be X date 6:27. So 10 of them now. It's going to be, hopefully you can read them. All right. Hopefully that's big enough. All right. So you can buy these today and get paid on Tuesday, which is nice. These numbers look really good. Let's get started. Yeah, these are really looking good. Like I said, I did end up buying all of these. I don't have a really big position because I'm just getting started. But I did get at least five. I do own at least five of all of these. So let's put it that way. So first up is ticker AAPW. Underlying security is Apple, and it's paying 0.265388 per share. That's pretty good. Um, Debut for Amazon here. Ticker AMZW. Underlying security is Amazon. It's paying 0.311818 per share. Okay. Now this is the one that I didn't have a really clue of what Berkshire pays because I don't own this individual stock because it just costs too much. So Berkshire B is the underlying security, and the ticket is BRKW. Like I said, Yale Max brought this out as a monthly, and these guys brought it out as a weekly. I decided to go for the weekly again because I have no clue what kind of payment you could get on Berkshire. Um, because I don't own that underlying stock. It's too expensive. So yeah, I went for the weekly one, and this is what it is. I'm gonna see what Yieldmax pays for the monthly, but they were the same price. They both came out at $50. I said, let me get paid every week instead of waiting for a whole month. It might be disappointed, right? So there you go. That's what weeklies are for. So BRKW is 0.235345 per share, which is not that high. But then I don't know if this is a good payment for Berkshire because, I don't know what kind of payments this thing might actually be able to do. It's a very expensive stock. I doubt that many options are out on this very, very expensive stock yet. I don't know. So next up is COIW, which is Coinbase. Again, Coinbase all around did really well. So look at this. For 1 week, you get 76 cents. And what did we just wait to get from Coney? We waited a whole month to get 53 cents from Yieldmax, and you can get 76 cents in 1 week from Roundhill. That's all I gotta say. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Then again, we're gonna do prices here. You got 53 cents from a $9 stock. This is, I know it's not cheap. How much is this going for? COIW. 59 dollars. So yeah, all right. 53 cents from a $9 stock versus 76 cents a week for a $59 stock. Okay, all right, all right. You can't really compare those numbers because it's really, you just can't compare them. It's two different sets of stuff right there. So COIW 0.768277 per share. This is an awesome payment. Now debuting first payment for Robinhood underlying stock here, ticker HOOW. Hui, I did feel very confident about this one. Um, Yale Max did really well on this one. That was their $6 stock for last week. Yeah, so they paid $6 for the month. And right here, Hui debuting for 91 cents for their first payment, 0.918500 per share. This is amazing. I think this might be the highest weekly payment they made, even better than the Planeteer one. Yeah, so yeah, this is the highest one. 91 cents for the debut week of HOOW. Nice. Next up is METW. Underlying security is Meta, which that's Facebook. 0.338091 per share. That's okay. That's all right. That's the first payment from them. Next up is NFLW. Underlying security is Netflix. Netflix is doing awesome right now. So the 0.439042 per share. Nice for debut payment. Really, that's well done right there. Next up, we got MVDW. Underlying security is NVIDIA. It's paying 0.450503 per share, which is, that's a good payment for NVIDIA. Yep. Next up, we got PLTW for Planeteer underlying stock. It's paying 0.651142 per share. This is a good payment. This is nice. Then we got TSLW. Underlying security is Tesla, paying 0.4862, sorry, 0.486782 per share. And that's all right. We got those robo taxis out from Tesla. They're moving around. They're driving people. You look on YouTube, everybody's doing their inaugural test drives, and they have a little bit of glitches. Not driving glitches, but like pickup glitches, like where they pick you up from. That's the only thing I saw. Those robo taxis are doing really well in traffic. But even my own GPS, sometimes it doesn't put you the right place. So depending on the GPS the car is using, I guess that's why like the pickup locations are like the only thing. I mostly heard people saying like they're standing on one side of the street and it goes to the other side of the street. Obviously they can't see you. They're on the same street. They're basically at your location. They're just probably like on the other side of the street. So road taxis from Tesla are out there. You can actually hire them and get in them and see if you want to let a computer drive you around with the other drivers that's out there, which is like being on a roller coaster to me, I think, because you just don't know who's out there. Like you could drive good, even I'm saying like you could drive good, but you don't know who else is on the road. Who else is gonna try to use their phone? Who else is gonna drop something and try to pick it up while they're driving? The people who eat while they're driving, the people who do their makeup while they're driving. Those kind of things, you just can't put those instances into a computer to safeguard you. So, I don't know how a robo taxi would handle that, but they're out there, and Tesla is making them. Uber also has robo taxis out there, so those are two stocks to look at. We also got a lot of those humanoid ETFs coming out. We're gonna have robots, guys. We're getting to the future. Um, they brought out two ETFs, one from Roundhill and one from Cranshares about humanoid robots. So that's a new thing. You want to get into those ETFs before they start moving. I forgot. I got one in the email. Let me see if I can find it. I just got two in the email. I got the one from Roundhill. I literally just got those emails. What's the ticker? Humanoid robots. Launch. Here you go. HUMN. Humanoid robots from Roundhill. It tells you they're going to be listed on the NASDAQ. Humanoid robots, one of the world's most promising technologies. So that's just started. And also, I think Crashes did it. What's the name? KOID. Also, Cranshares, which is the clip one. They also brought it out and brought a robot for the NASDAQ ringing of the bell. So robots are there. If you want to get into these, you could get KOID or the other one from Roundhill, because this is the new wave of possibilities. So these are not going to be dividend stocks. These guys probably pay annually. If they pay anything, they might make one payment for the year. So these are not for dividend stocks. These are purely for if you think they're going to grow a growth stock or not. Like that's probably all you could do with this. These are not dividend stocks. These are not things to wait and get paid for. If they pay at all, it'd be one payment for the year. So when you go into these, don't look at it for payment. Look at it as, do you think we're going to robots that look like humans, like this guy who rang the bell, or not? And then you invest in these two ETFs, one from Cranshares and one from Roundhill. So that's that. But let's get to the numbers. What did we make for the end of June? Whoops, that's July. We're not ready for July yet. July is gonna have 5 weeks, I think, because only thing we're missing is Friday on that one. All right, so first week we made $2,280, which is interesting. Yeah, so this is the first week of June. We end up making $2,280.62. The next week we made $592.59. Then we made $1,357.92. And now we're on the last week here. All right. Last week of June, which was Group C. So we started with Group D, ended with Group C. Now look at this. I waited a whole month for Coney. I got 1,150 shares at 53 cents. Wait, it's more than that, isn't it? Hold up. I think I just only put 40. Coney. 0.5354 June. All right, that changed there a little bit. Went up $5. You need those extra change at the end. So Coney is 1,150 shares at 0.5354 per share. That's $615.71. AMDY, that's 100 shares at 46 cents. So that's $46.29. NFLY is 100 shares at 43 cents, and that's $43.03. PYPY is 45 shares at 32 cents. So that's 14.82. Ulti, everything risky stock here. 125 shares at 9 cents. So that's $11.54. YMAX, 160 shares at 15 cents. That's 24.77. Hui, this was the highlight for this week here. Again, I tell you, I bought 20 shares on the Monday and no, I mean 10 shares on a Monday and 10 shares on Tuesday, which was a good idea. These guys made a lot this month from their synthetic, I think. So they have extra money for next month too. So next month's payment should also be really good, at least $5, $4, something like that. So they still got money left. Hui, 30 shares at $6.50. So that's $195.09. YMAG, $25 at 15 cents, $3.94. Um, for Yield Max NAV erosion, they have made some emails. That guy Jay Pastor, something like that, from Title. But yeah, they are going to include swap trades as like and putting more of the underlying stock inside of the trades they have to try to stabilize the NAV so that YieldMax doesn't have as much NAV erosion as it does now because nobody wants their principal to go to zero while getting paid, right? You want to get paid, but you definitely don't want your original investment to be disappearing on you, which is what's happening with most of the YieldMax offerings right now. So they're trying to do something, which I appreciate. Once you notice you have a problem and you try to do something about it. So they're adding swap trades, they're adding more of the underlying stock, and they're going to see if that beefs up the NAV so it doesn't erode as much, which would be good. So they're thinking of something, they're doing something, and we're going to see if it works. Next up, LFGY, 30 shares at 48 cents. That's 14.51. GPTY, 10 shares at 31 cents. That's $3.14. SDTY is 15 shares at 11 cents. See, these were really bad. See, this is where, like I said on Wednesday, they dropped the ball on these. How are their numbers lower than Roundhill and Defiance? What's going on? So this is S&P coverage right here. 11 cents. All right, 15 shares at 11 cents. That's $1.73. QDTE, NASDAQ coverage. 10 shares at 11 cents again. $1.19. And then this is CVNY. 20 shares at $1.70. So that was $34.17. Then we had NEOs. These are my NAV safe stuff right here. NAV safe. SPYI, 10 shares at 50 cents. It's $5.05. QQQI, 10 shares at 62 cents, $6.28. IWMI, 10 shares at 55 cents. That's $5.57. Then we got Curve, Netflix coverage here. 10 shares at 55 cents is 5.50. Granite shares yield boost. TSYY, 70 shares at 29 cents. That's $20.83. TQQY, 20 shares at 17 cents. That's $3.57. YSPY, 20 shares at 18 cents. $3.77. MVYY, 20 shares at 65 cents. This was a good payment. 1314. XBTY, 10 shares at 60 cents, $6.08. Defiance, IWMY is 60 shares at 23 cents. That's 14.39. And QQQY is 60 shares at 19 cents. And that's $11.51. MST, 25 shares at 20 cents. That's $5.19. And then we got the Roundhill weeklies. This is the week before they had those new ones. So TSLW 50 shares at 56 cents is $28.01. NVDW 50 shares at 36 cents. This seems short. Oh, it had zeros at the end. Okay, so yeah. NVDW 50 shares at 36 cents is 18.16. PLTW 100 shares at 69 cents is $69.17. My objective here is to get these, hopefully all of these to 100. I'm gonna work on it. Except for Apple. Apple doesn't pay that much for me to invest in making this go to 100. But definitely I might try to get the Hui one, the new one, to 100. So yeah, PLTW 100 shares 69 cents is $69.17. COIW 100 shares at 34 cents, $34.60. AAPW 20 shares at 14 cents. That's $2.90. Now, Roundhill QDTE 50 shares at 24 cents. That's 12.33. RDTE 50 shares at 27 cents is 12.33. No, that's not right. I see a thing there. 13.83. And YBTC is 50 shares at 27 cents. No. Oh, they were really close. I thought I was writing the same number again. I'm thinking of messing with my own stuff. These were really close. They were 13.76. And then for this monthly, these guys didn't end up paying us anything for the month of June because they're starting weekly in July, which I don't think that's a reason not to pay me, to tell you the truth, because they didn't do that when they stopped YBTC from being monthly to weekly. They paid one last big payment and then they went into weekly. So all I'm saying is that their first payment for July should be really high because you guys owe us the money from June. Just putting that out there. Y'all guys owe us money from June from Roundhill here for YETH. Rec shares, AIPI 10 shares at $1.27. That's 12.74. FEPI 10 shares at 96 cents, so that's $9.62. CEPI 10 shares at 137 is 13.80. Then we had the Rec Share Weeklies. Ticker MVII 10 shares at 20 cents, that's $2.02. MSII, this was a better payment, 10 shares at 29 cents is $2.91. TSII 10 shares at 19 cents, that's $1.99. COII 10 shares at 44 cents. Coinbase everywhere. Coinbase underlying security did really well all around. So Coinbase is doing well. 10 shares at 44 cents, which blew out the rest of these. $4.42. Globex 10 shares at 20 cents. $2.03. Clip we don't have yet. Probably have it on when it pays on the 30th. Who knows? We don't have that yet. Clip. And then we have SVOL 10 shares at 30 cents. That's $3. The stable coins that are not waiting for anybody to advise payment, you already know what you're getting. CLM 100 shares at 12 cents, that's 12.24. ECC 200 shares at 14 cents, that's $28. GOF 10 shares at 100 shares at 18 cents, that's 18.27. Tax free in New York, VTN 425 shares at 6 cents. That's 29.11. Sweet tax free money here. And good 10 shares at 10 cents. That's $1. So altogether for the last week of June we made $1,444.73. $288.95 is going for taxes and a high yield savings account. Then we left with $1,055.79. I'm gonna take out $9.50 to live off of this week, and I'm gonna leave $205.79 for reinvestment to go back into margin. So for the month of June, what did I make? Month of June, I made $5,675.88, which is way less than last month. What did we do last month? But anyway, let's keep going. Living in fire. This is what I sent to my checking account. So this is all I had to live off of for the month of June. $3,250, which I really didn't feel because I still had money from the last month in there. So I probably didn't even use this. To tell you the truth, that much of this. I used some of it, but I definitely didn't use all of it. Um, Reinvested $1,326.51 in taxes. So I sent this to that high yield savings account. $1,135.18. Um, I bought a couple of things. Like I said, I didn't even put these here. I just bought the new ones from I gotta add that. I bought the new ones from Roundhill, the new weekly pairs, all five of them. I bought five, 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 and 10 and 10 and 10. So yeah, I gotta add that in there. Then I'm gonna send $500 extra payment this month to my principal. I'll probably do that right after this video. And don't let it clash with the payment that's gonna come out for the regular payment. So there you go, 34.63. So yeah, I spent more than I made this month, but I had a lot of money left over from last month. Because last month I made $9,000 and I sent 6,000. So yeah, I had money in my account already. So I overspent, but that's okay. I had money in there. So let's just go back for since we halfway through the year. What did we make? January we made $6,646.85. February we made $6,626.01. March we made $5,436.39. April was really bad. We made 4,782 spot oh 04. May was a really good month. We made $9,317.06. We did have 5 Fridays here, so we got paid from Yieldmax 5 times. That's probably what did it. Yieldmax C, and then we ended with Yieldmax C. So we had two Group C's in May. That probably was what pushed us over the hill here. Yeah, so we did really well, and the payment was decent for this one, 73 cents. So I had a lot of those. May was really good. So 65 cents and 70. Yeah, that was a really good. Yeah, two Group C's in May. That's what did it. So we got to 9,000 for May, and now June, we're back in the five. So 5,675, 588. July, we should have 5 weeks. We're not getting Yield Max 5 times. That's gonna happen in August. But we're gonna have everything else before Friday 5 times. So let's look at the calendar. So first payment is gonna be on Tuesday. So a lot of stuff we saw that we just got the numbers for, we're gonna get paid on Tuesday. And then for the last week, we got whatever pays on Monday, whatever pays on Tuesday, whatever pays on Wednesday, whatever pays on Thursday. We got all of those. The only thing we're gonna miss that makes us not have 5 weeks is Friday. So not too shabby, right? So we're basically gonna have 5 weeks for the Tuesday payers, Wednesdays, and Thursday payers. They all are gonna be 5 weeks of payments, except for the Friday payers, which is most likely Yield Max. So July should be pretty good, but definitely August is gonna be good because that's the next time we get 5 weeks from Yield Max is August. All right, so that's a show. So we're gonna have it. It's gonna numbers are gonna be a little fourth, fifth week. Um, so yeah, the fifth week, like I said, everything is set for Yield Max. So all these Granite, Defiances, Direct Shares, Roundhill Weekly Payers, all those are gonna be in because they're all gonna be paid on Tuesday. Bit Yeah, this last month of this thing should be there. That's like the 29th, I think. Yeah, that's gonna pay on 29th. And these two crypto ones, but not the indexes because those pay on Friday. So yeah, all of these are included, and then August you're gonna get the ones from Friday. So yeah, we're gonna have 5 weeks in July, which should be interesting. Again, we're starting with Group D again. So next up is Misty. Let's see what Misty does. Hopefully, it does something good. Have a lot of those. Hoping Misty do something good. Anyway, that's the show. It was a lot of numbers to get today. Um, Again, see you guys again on Wednesday or maybe tomorrow. I didn't fill in the rates to figure out what these weekly paid if they were to pay per month. I'll probably fill those in and then I'll get another video out for you guys. But anyway, that's the show. Friday payday. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good time with your family. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, guys.